baby then and stuff. So after I dealt with that, I would get a chance to sleep a little bit. And then I would, take care of the kids, whatever they needed. And then, I thought you were leaving. You're so funny. Um, and, um, and so I would get to take care of the kids and have that like sort of part of my morning set up, what I was going to do with them. And then I would make their lunch. And then I would have time to clean in the first part of the afternoon. And then I would have like some free time if the kids were napping or doing studies, because I homeschooled my first kid as well. So, or we might have an activity that day out of the house for a homeschool event or something like that. So I had like a beautiful structure to my day. Right. And then he'd call me and tell me he was coming home, and I would cook dinner. And I did everything. Okay. Like just to be clear, like he would help me on occasion, but I cleaned, I cooked, like I did everything. Okay. So that's right. Destiny's Child. That song came to my mind too. I want to cater to you. Shout out to Destiny's Child for that. That was my jam. I used to work out to that song. So anyway, I embodied that, right? And here's the little tip. Okay. I know a lot of women, you have been cleaning and folding laundry, which I hate, and like taking care of the kids. And I had two, right? I had a baby and I had like, a 9-year-old and so forth. And I know it's hard work. It's a lot of work. And I will I'll openly admit how much work it is to be a stay-home mom, homeschooling, and this like cater to you type of wife for your husband, right? And so when they come from the door from work, and my husband worked a very physical job, right? He would come in and he would be exhausted, but so would I. And so initially with my first child, I didn't know this yet. So with my first child, he would come in and I'd be like, here goes the baby. Like, I'm done. I'm off the clock for like at least an hour, and all of that. And you know what that did? That created so much problems in our relationship. It even affected our sex life. And I was not, if you know me, I was not having that. After my first marriage, I was like, never again. Okay, we're going to prioritize this. And so I need a partner who's like there with me on that. So we went to counseling, and I am a huge advocate of counseling. It probably helped us keep our marriage together. So whether yours is at spiritual or at the church or like out in the world, I find a counselor. It might take a few times. You got to find, it's like Cinderella slipper, right? You got to find the one that fits you. They're not all the same. You got to find a good one. Sometimes you can do it on Zoom, but like it's worth it sometimes you just need a little help communicating in your relationship and getting those tools to help you guys work together to keep that relationship longevity. And as long as nothing like happens in my relationship where you just can't go back from that moment, then you can make things work, especially if you keep the intimacy and the love and the sex life alive, and popping. So we'll talk about that more later. But the tip, guys, I have ADHD. I just went on this. You could bear with me. Okay, the tip. So what I would do, what we learned in counseling was when he comes home, he gets 1 hour to decompress. And if you think about like old TV shows, the wife would like go up to her husband with his drink and the kid would have his like slippers or whatever, and all those old TV shows, if you've ever seen that shit. And that's kind of the mindset, right? Like, let him come home, let him decompress. He did look good in a hard hat. So he was cute. That's what it was, you guys. He was so fucking fine. Oh my God, I couldn't even help myself. But also, side note tip. Okay, don't just base it on looks. Okay, this is the man that's going to be there when you deliver your children out of your body, or when a parent dies, or when a big life moment happens. Maybe your man is that guy who's got you and he's fine as fuck. But don't just base it on looks, okay? Because you might not get that guy. All right. And looks fade. Looks fade. Honey, let me tell you, looks can fade. And often they do. And you know, I'm always talking about how men tend to let themselves go after like sometime between 42 and 45. Okay. Let's just be real. Also, if you're married, stop letting yourself go for your wife. She wants to find you sexy too. It goes both ways. Okay. Everybody acts like it's just women, but it's men too once you get a certain age. Okay. So, and then when your wife leaves you, you're trying to talk to a 25-year-old. You know what? How about you just keep it tight and right? I digress. You know what? Let me move on. Let's go back to the tip. Give him that break to decompress. He will thank you for it. Just let him come from work and have like a set hour to just chill for a minute, whether he plays video games, plays music, whatever he does. Maybe he might want to go do yard work. I don't know who your man is. My neighbor's husband's forever in the yard doing shit. I can see him out of my window and he is forever doing housework. My hat's off to him. He is always doing those manly chores outside in the yard. Okay, so and God forbid you be with a man or you are the man that has your wife doing yard work, housework, all of that shit. And you're just sitting on your ass thinking, oh, because I pay the bills, that's enough. And then you wonder why you get left. Like, come on, come on. Shared domestic labor is my preferred way of being, and also shared income. That's my preference after having these two experiences, but I'm jumping ahead. So give him that time. That's my point. Give him that time to just decompress and like let him have a minute, whatever he needs to do. And don't be nagging and criticizing him all the time, right? That's another like rookie mistake. Okay. If your man, why do you think women would go to their mothers? Okay. If you're doing everything for that man, and you're loving him and affectionate. And why do you think all men, I'll be on these dating apps. You know, I'm doing the dating after divorce series, right? And I'll be on the dating apps. And you know what all the men say? Physical touch is their love language. Okay, well, we know what that means. But it's not only that. I've come to discover a lot of these men just want you to touch them, cuddle with them, rub their arm. Give them a kiss on the face, like on the cheek, on the neck. They just want physical connection. So that tells me a lot of women are not doing that. And I know you don't want to do it because he's not helping you and you feel neglected and taken for granted and all of these things. I get that. I get that. And that is why I said, I didn't like being a tradwife. I didn't like it because in the end of things, I got sick of it. At the end of it all, I felt like a maid. I felt taken for granted. I felt ignored. I felt even just a blow up doll could have replaced me in the bedroom. It was boring and it was not a fun time. Okay. So the worst part of being a tradwife is if you're stuck having traditional sex too. Yuck. Okay. I'm not going to kink shame anybody if you're not either. But you got to spice it up and you got to bring that intimacy. The intimacy is more than you're clowning. Sorry, my girl's on here and she's cracking me up. Okay, so